Storygram Network.
Hello, we are the Sonoma Community Center podcast, a place of creativity, connection, and community. We highlight the artists, teachers, and the community that come through the doors of our historic brick building, often called the heart of Sonoma. We share local tips and shout-outs to our home, Sonoma Valley. And we are your hosts, Molly Spencer.
Gerardo Diaz.
We are the engagement team of the Sonoma Community Center.
Whoop, whoop.
Good morning, Gerardo.
Hey, Molly, how you doing?
Can you believe it? It's December, end of 2024 already.
I've been singing those Christmas songs since
I knew it.
September. Remember?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And now you guys were like, it's too early. It's too early. Once you hit October, the year's gone.
You're like my daughter. Let's get a Christmas tree the day after Halloween.
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer, okay. You know.
You love that one. Gerardo, so he's not just sitting there laughing, kind of trying not to laugh out loud. We have Tony Gonzalez,
Good morning.
Artistic Director over at Transcendence Theater Co. Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to be here. Good to meet you all.
Tony, you're our first morning guest, so if we're still waking up.
Oh, listen, same. I'm waking up. In fact, I just was on the phone and one of my colleagues said, it's early for you. Does rehearsal start now? I go, no, I'm going to the community center.
That is so funny because I was like, oh, okay. Well, you got to get your day on, but I imagine from your life forever, it's the same thing here. Do not care for mornings very much, but we're here.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a morning person, but the energy feels right here.
Yeah. I don't have hair, and I still have the pillow mark in my head. You know, that's
right?
how bad it is. You know,
I know it was so cold. It felt so good. My cat got up on there and saw, wake up. Time to go. Ask Tony some questions.
All right.
You know, I don't mind getting up early though on the winter though. I like winters. I don't like the hot days though. When you get up and you're like sweaty already. So, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're here. It's not raining. I'm sure we'll see some more of that, but it's a dry, beautiful January.
It's beautiful. It feels like fall. The colors out there, the sun. It's beautiful.
It is. December is like what? October in New York?
Yeah.
End of September.
It's exactly that.
Exactly. I watched that Bills game last night, Buffalo Bills.
I actually caught some of that too. You know, I'm a Cleveland guy, so
I was
watching the Browns a little bit. I don't really get into football much.
I don't either, but I was born in Buffalo, so I watched a little bit of that.
Okay.
Got a little family rivalry going on, and it was just snowing. So something else. Well, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here finally.
Me too.
Over the summer. You stopped in to return something from, I think it was the banner or something like that.
Yeah, it was a couple props. It was a banner. I think it was a crown.
Exactly. This is our mutual connection here is Eric Jackson.
We love Eric Jackson.
Exactly. As he likes to say, are you his favorite collaborator? Is he your favorite collaborator?
It goes on for a year. In fact, he's like my first collaborator, I feel like.
I was going to say,
As far as in the professional world, he's the first person I got to collaborate with and create with. And I learned from him and continue to, and we grow together. And yeah, it's kind of really great. In fact, I know we're going to talk about, but the very first holiday show for Transcendence Theater here in Sonoma was in 2015. And that was the first time we got to work together.
And just to back up a little bit too, Transcendence Dance Theater, what year did that start exactly? Was
Transcendence Theater Company. Yeah.
Theater Company, excuse
me. But we also dance a lot too.
I know.
And I'll dance too if I warm up. Transcendence Theater Company started in Sonoma in 2011.
Okay, that's
Prior
what I
to that, it was a dream of Amy Miller, who was like the founding artistic director and founder of the company. So it started in her brain and her creation much earlier than that, but here in Sonoma, 2011.
In 2015. So now you're like, you guys are rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Let's do a holiday show.
Let's do a holiday show. And I will be honest, which is funny that you love singing holiday music in August. We decided to do a holiday show, and it was like July, and we started listening to holiday music. And I said, then in 2015, I was like, I don't know if I need to hear this soon. It just didn't feel right. Now it feels right. Now, if I'm not listening to holiday music in July, I'm doing something wrong.
That's like the dance world, listening to Nutcracker back in August when you start.
Yes.
you're so done with that by usually the end of December. Done. But, it's nice. They come back around. It's just something to say about those holiday songs.
Right.
How many... You do them all.
Yeah.
So how does that work out for the holiday show? Like the one that you have coming up now,
right?
Is it conceived back in, as you said, August?
Yeah, we start August for sure, conceiving. At Transcendence is an interesting theater company because we don't take shows that have already been written. We create them ourselves and orchestrate them ourselves and arrange them ourselves here in-house, which is great. So we start conceiving it and then we cast it kind of at the same time. So, sometimes you want to show and then cast it, or you want to cast and then create it. We kind of do them at the same time. So we've got our work cut out for us, but it usually turns out pretty decent, I think.
So all your shows are original?
Yeah. All of our shows, now that I said that, we are actually moving into like the book musical world.
Okay.
Much like, Sonoma Arts Live is always doing wonderful book musicals. And so we do like one a season. So we're next season, 2025, we're going to do the Carole King musical.
Yeah.
You actually give Carole King vibes. Like
I do? It's just there. It's either Stevie Nicks or Carole King,
I like
right?
Stevie Nicks too.
So I won't try to sing for you, Tony.
Yeah, we create original review style shows. Typically all music, all dance as much as possible. So it's a good time.
I love it. I like to have a little keep on moving. What's your next thing? What's the next thing? But I love them all. I love it when you are able to go deep too. Mm-hmm. With the holiday show, do you have a lot of the talent coming back? Should I say the cast? A lot of the people that are usually here from the summertime?
Yeah, we do.
I see some returning faces.
There's some faces that may look new, but everybody in the cast, there's 8 performing cast members. There's a band of 6. The band musicians are local humans. Isaac, yeah.
I love Isaac.
Or local-ish, from the area, North Bay at least. And then our performing artists, singers, dancers, typically come in from New York, but we do have, like we were saying, we do have some folks mainly returning. Alicia Albright from the cast of Wicked, she's not been here for a little while, and Wicked is a hot thing, obviously.
Absolutely.
So we're glad we snagged her. We've got a stunning vocalist, Ruby Lewis, who these folks you might recognize if you've
Was it over the summer?
Yeah, Ruby was here over the summer. Yeah. Neil Starkenberg is a wonderful dancer, singer, human.
Yes.
We really try to cast, or do our best to cast phenomenal humans, and that's kind of the idea, because Sonoma is filled with phenomenal humans as well, truly.
That's right. Woo-woo.
Only the best.
Only the best in Sonoma. Best night ever. I have to ask, did that came out of Amy Miller's a long time too?
That came out of Amy Miller.
Because that is a very good, one of the best, long-standing, sustainable marketing, shall I say, from a perspective. It's really hung on.
And it's one of those things too where it came out of Amy Miller, and this is a phrase we say every night, or we say best holiday ever,
Sure.
But the best night ever was coined, I think maybe a patron may have said it out loud, and then we just coined it, because a typical summer night, you come and you picnic and you have a couple glasses of wine and then you enjoy live music and live dance, and then the stars and the moon. So like that, truly, to me at least, is the best night ever, right?
It is actually in your new spot too, in downtown Sonoma,
which
we're right
you
are
here.
Returning to. It's kind of cool. You can see the sun go down and the moon rise at the same time. It's spectacular.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
Yeah. So the holiday, are you performing in 2 places this year?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you for asking. We opened the show down in Marin. It's called the Marin Theater in Mill Valley.
Is that the one right downtown?
I think it is actually. There's the Civic Center, which is right off the expressway.
Uh-huh.
We have performed there. That's a big one. This one's a little more intimate, and it is right downtown.
It's
and
Throckmorton. Could it be that?
I believe you.
Yeah. It's kind of like Sebastiani in that style.
Yes.
Sebastiani is the local older theater, and they do a lot of film festivals through there and stuff.
Right,
So,
and we'll be at
it's a really
Sebastiani
sweet
as well.
town.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're in Mill Valley December 12th through the 15th, and then we come back to our home field, if you will, in the sports world, right? And we play right at the Sebastiani, right? Just a couple blocks away, which we're so excited about.
Excellent. Love Sebastiani.
Yeah.
Done a little performing there in the old days.
Yeah, you sure did.
Everybody has, I feel like, that grew up in Sonoma at some point, that even dipped their toes into a little performing.
I don't know about Sebastiani. I don't enjoy their seats.
There are old school
I enjoy their plays,
I hear you. No,
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. It's tight.
you're like this. You're like,
you're
like,
you're sitting over here in this throne. It's not like that.
Maybe
like
that's
that.
how people should be sitting though. Straight,
that's how I sit. Look at us. We're all sitting.
Or maybe that's how they sat like 100 years ago.
Yeah,
when
I'm here sitting like a hobo. It just,
maybe you're supposed to sit straight.
That's
like
what
that.
it is. I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Sorry, Sebastian.
better posture. Did you know that Roger married us? Roger wrote in that. Exactly.
Really?
Did you know that he marries people in town? He's married a lot of people in town.
No way.
And so we were looking for someone. We were going to have a friend do it. Actually, we were going to have Ronnie Joe do it. But we decided, let's go with Roger. And my husband just stared at him the whole time because he looks like Chris Christopherson back in the day, right? So it's quite funny. They're a great organization over there. I'm glad that it's right downtown.
We're so glad. And Tony Gonzalez is there.
He's a wonderful
I'm not sure his exact title, but I mean, he's there doing everything.
Everything.
And he's the greatest collaborator as well.
Yeah.
The minute I met him, I was like, we're in good hands and this is going to be a good adventure. It's gonna be
Good. A good adventure.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot there. Okay, so you got a couple of holiday shows coming up. I'm going to rewind. Rewind to little. You like that? We don't do sound effects. We just do our own. Yeah. I know. That's my rewind sound. Woo-woo. I've got a lot to ask, but right now, are you still also currently living in New York? Are you all over the place?
Yeah, I reside in New York. My home base is there. Citizen of New York City, proudly.
Hence the shorts wearing in December. It's like, it's New York. It's hot out here.
I feel warm. You know what I mean? Or I shouldn't say warm, but it's definitely warmer than New York. So yeah, I do live there. I moved to New York. Well, I guess I officially moved full-time to New York in 2009. So it's been a little while.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it. Have you guys been?
No, but
Come on.
yes.
Yeah. I lived there for a little bit.
Right.
I was the other kind of dancer that wasn't on Broadway, but down going, contract release, release, water dance
a little like
downtown.
Thornton, a little, right?
I'm not a city
Dance
guy.
space.
No.
I'm just not. No.
Yeah.
I like little towns, to be honest.
That's
when
fair.
I go to LA, I want to go back to Sonoma as soon as possible.
Not even like a little visit, not even like a little taste?
No.
Okay.
No. Too fast for me.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we come here and it's a little slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the slowness.
In a beautiful way.
It's
a little slow.
I like a little bit of both, but I definitely miss the energy of New York. There's nothing like it. It's not the same as LA or anywhere else. It's just after a couple of years, I definitely in the dead of winter when you're on a subway and everybody's honking their nose around you and you just want a wide open space.
Right.
So I feel like that has transitioned really nicely for you because you get to come out here for a while.
It's an embarrassment of riches, and that is also why when we bring these performing artists from New York, it's the same thing, and that's the goal, that we get to mix and mingle with this community, but then also take a hike up the Overlook Trail or go out to Jack London or, really get to be outside.
There's not a lot of musicians like in LA or anything.
There are some.
But
some
are they
folks,
better in New York though?
Well, New York is more focused on live theater, and LA is a little more focused film and TV.
Yeah.
But we do have some artists from LA.
I figure.
Yeah,
it feels like New York. It's more like the theater, singing and stuff.
Right. Exactly.
And Tony, that's your world. So I can imagine that it becomes kind of small after a while. If you've been doing 2009, you've been in New York. Where did you grow up at? Now I really want to rewind.
You're going deep. Molly's going deep. So I grew up in Ohio. There's plenty to say about Ohio, but my family is there now. So I'll go back to Ohio for Christmas, of course. So I grew up there and I went to university there and got some training there, but I knew I was like ready to get out of Ohio. I guess at a young age when I realized New York is like theater, like we were talking about theater space there, I was like, well, I have to go there, I guess, eventually.
Were you always in plays? Were you always dancing? What was happening when you were really young?
I grew up doing it. I also grew up a little bit in sports. My dad is a football coach and a wrestling coach and a Spanish teacher.
Was he tough on you?
Oh, yeah, but in a good way, because I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't.
So you know how to speak Spanish then?
You're really putting Tony on the
spot. You did really put that. I'm proud of you for that. I need to work on my Spanish plenty.
Well, you were talking about Gonzalez. Where is your family from? I know you answered that question earlier.
Right. My dad's side of the family comes from just border towns of Mexico.
Yeah.
And then at a very, very young age, in fact, my dad was actually born in Ohio. My grandparents came up to Ohio to work for the GM factory, actually, up in Ohio, the car factory. things were a little bit different
Yeah.
back then as far as how things go. And I'm really grateful that they came up there. And then the whole history of Tony Gonzalez, my parents met in college. My mom, her family all was already in Ohio for quite some time. So
Yeah.
the family
Your mom is
roots.
white?
Yeah.
You have a sister.
I have a
know
sister.
that, right?
Yes.
Is it a big family?
Just me and my sister
Oh,
and
wow.
myself. Yeah. My sister lives in Ohio as well with her husband and their 2 wonderful kids. So I have a niece and nephew that really drives me to get home. Of course, to see my parents. And we have a big family when it comes to cousins on both sides. I have a lot of wonderful aunts and uncles and cousins and everybody. And they all have kids now. So in fact,
It's
I feel
fun.
kind of bad
Really
because
spices it up a little bit.
the family holiday is this coming weekend, and I can't make it because I'll thankfully be here and employed and working and whatnot.
Right.
But I'll send them love.
Do they do like Mexican style food too? Or no?
Yeah. In fact, somebody just said, "What are traditions at around the holidays?" And tamales were always a tradition.
Always.
My
I made
grandma by
tamales yesterday.
hand. So my mom, yes, as we mentioned, is white. She's tried to make them for my dad. And
Yeah, tamales is one of the things that people enjoy, and they think they're super easy. They're not. It's time consuming. Time consuming.
Right.
We've
And-
had a couple of community tamales classes.
Oh, I love
and
that.
was interesting though, right?
Yeah.
You definitely get a different shape and size.
And that's
It
what
is.
in your culinary, that's your star area, right?
Yep.
Great. What else do you make then?
I make anything you want.
Gerardo makes us.
Nice.
What he does is he makes me chunky here.
Oh,
Thank you,
yeah, we
Chef
would just be
G.
eating the whole
Oh,
time.
the
I think
food is so good. He
everybody
makes it all the
just-
time.
They're
Every
like
birthday.
20 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Thanks.
have a favorite dish? You have, especially at the holidays,
I do a lot of, tamales is my favorite dish. I love making tamales, but I do those dirty beans that I do. Frijoles
with ham in
puercos.
there? Or,
No, they have bacon and then sardines, actually.
oh,
I know.
all right. Well,
They're
somebody text me next time
delicious.
that's cooking up in
They're
here.
delicious. They're
Good.
delicious. So,
Awesome.
But
Homemade
yeah.
tortillas?
Always.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good.
We make them here, too.
Hey,
So,
great. That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a place to eat
That's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Great.
and take classes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, really
I
learn
try
some
to-
traditional.
I try to do what my grandma used to make. You won't taste it in your restaurants around here. So those are the flavors that I come
That's
up
nice.
with, so.
That's nice. How did you get up here then?
Me?
Yeah.
I jumped
It's my
up
turn
border.
to ask questions
Yeah,
again?
I jumped
know,
up
really-
border when I was 7.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
So what happened is my mom left me when I was a young kid with my grandma. And then my grandma at the time, she couldn't take care of me anymore. So she came in. We jumped the border.
Okay.
I actually sell tamales in the border because we ran out of money.
All right.
So
My border experiences, I remember it would have been you, but it would have been down in Texas.
Yeah.
But it was kids selling chicle, like
Chicles,
on the,
yeah.
just on the
Chicles.
border. Everybody coming to the car and like knocking on your window.
I'll tell you a story. So my grandpa, when I was young, he used to tell me that, and he said he spoke English, and he's like, yeah, money is, dinero is money, So I remember when I got caught one time with immigration, they put us in a different cell. So immigration came and talked to me. He's like, hey, but the first thing he said was, good morning. And I thought he said, where's the money? So I'm like, no tengo dinero. I don't have any money. I don't have any money.
Oh
I was like
my
7 though. And I thought it was hilarious.
That is so amazing. That's great.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
you shared that.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so no, I came here when I was a young kid. I went back to Mexico, got married, and then came back again.
All right. Well, lucky Sonoma.
Wonderful.
I love Sonoma.
Lucky Sonoma, lucky community
Lucky
center.
Sonoma. We are. I'm so lucky that
great.
Gerardo is here. Just the best addition. We all love him.
Good.
Thank
Love
you,
him, love
thank
him.
you.
Good.
And just like we love when you come into town.
Well,
I'm
thank
so
you.
excited that you came on here. That's just
I'm honored to
fantastic
be
because
asked.
I've
Come
known
on.
you kind of indirectly through Eric. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. You have such a really deep background and you've been kind of everywhere.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been around, I guess.
Tell us a little bit about, I wanted to ask and deep dive a little bit into Mamma Mia.
Oh, yeah.
So you were in that musical production many just tell us a little
for
bit about it better
years and
than
years
I
and
can.
years. So if anybody doesn't know the musical Mamma Mia, which is
They
possible,
just
and
did
it's
a
okay.
sing along in the theater over the
did they?
summertime.
Right.
I just saw one at my kid's school too. Yeah,
Oh, did
Sonoma
they?
Academy. They did the Mamma Mia.
Oh, I saw the high school do it last
Oh,
year,
yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
really?
It was so fun. It was so fun. Such a fun musical. It's all ABBA music. Such a great time. Yeah, I joined that team on a national tour around the country. I can't remember the year now. It's been quite some time. probably like 2006, maybe, at any rate. And then I got to tour all over the country, Canada, Mexico, and I got to do the show in New York for a while. The gift just keeps giving, actually. The show just keeps going on and keeps bringing joy. I think the best part of the show is that you come in, however you come in, and you leave happy, and it's ABBA music. And ABBA music is having just this continuous resurgence.
It never goes away.
Who do you
I know.
play? Who do you play on that one?
Well, I was a swing, so in the show world, a swing kind of plays all the roles. All the male identifying roles I played, except at the time, this is a funny story, at the time I was younger and I wasn't playing the dads. You know, shows
that's
about
what
the
I was going to
dads.
ask you. Yeah.
Well, somebody said to me the other day, I forget where I was, they were like, which dad did you play? And I was like, well, I'm honored. Now I could play. Now
Were
I'll
you
be
the
playing
waiters?
the
One of the
dad.
waiters there? Or something?
Waiters and boatmen and
Okay.
all these things. I played a priest as well. Like, you just play all the bit parts, you know?
I'm sure that actually kept it interesting.
Oh, I love, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's instead of just doing the same
Yeah.
thing every night after night.
Yeah, it takes focus, you know?
Yeah.
How
But
good do you have to be to like join those type of?
it's a mix. It's a mix
You
of...
have to have a good voice. I'm pretty sure you have to
Right.
sing.
It's a mix of training, or some folks, as you know, just have just natural talent. I work with folks that didn't have training. There's one huge Broadway star. Her name's Carolee Carmelo. She talks all the time about how she didn't really have voice lessons. She just loved to sing. And then she's this major lead on Broadway all over the place. So it's training, it's working hard, it's going to audition all the time. You know, you audition sometimes 8 times a week and you won't even get any of those jobs. You might audition 40 times a month and not even book one of those jobs. So you just got to keep
So
at it.
definitely you have to be working.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the work. Like so many gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. If you want a good product,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of it. And as you said, that's a lot to do with your youth. And sometimes it's more strict youth, but it actually really sets you up well for the rejection that you might feel and not take too personally when you get into that world. Now, I'm really interested into, because I know you dance and sing, but dancing, training and dancing, what was that? Was it ballet? Was it jazz? Was it early?
Really jazz, and it wasn't even too early. Like, I knew I always loved watching dance and just messing around myself. I really got deep into dance in college and university. I went to a school in Ohio called Otterbein University, and it's in the central Ohio area. But I took to dancing because I loved watching other people do it. And then I had a lot of training then, which put me in some of the greatest shape and some of the greatest ability to do any show. You know, I had ballet training, tap training, jazz training, some hip hop, some just everything.
Do you have a favorite
Style
or some certain moves? You know, I love a kickball change.
You love a kickball change,
I love
Molly.
a kickball change. Actually, I love pivots. If we could just turn and pivot and
just
turn and
pivot
pivot
all day long, especially in these hallways, these big, huge hallways at the center.
I would teach the little kids since retired, but I would have them to get their energy out in the middle of class. It's okay, fine. You can go get a drink of water halfway down the hall, but you have to grand jeté all the way to get there. And what a fun place to do it.
Oh, I love it. I love this space.
It's
said when
like
I came
the
in
Fame
here,
building a little bit.
it's definitely like the Fame building, but more than the Fame building is the performing arts in New York. But this has so much going on in this building, and there's so much history in here. There's that beautiful theater, which I just love.
Yes.
And these hallways have so much history. So it's great.
It's a little quiet this morning. But, you know, on
Except
a
for
regular
us.
time, I know. We're here.
early.
We're doing it. We're like a secret surprise in the music room.
There's a big kitchen here too, right? That's where you...
Yeah. There's a kitchen.
Yeah. When I come to town, I get to stay with sponsor housing and donated housing. So Chuck and Kathy Williamson, you know, Kathy Williamson is big here.
She is
They
lovely.
host me just beautifully. It's the most incredible relationship in the world, and we're so lucky. So she's always over here, right?
She does Tai Chi in the morning. She's done it for a long time through Mondays.
Right.
And she has a lot of responsibility for the beautiful gardens out in front because, as you know,
Stunning.
Master gardener, right? I've never seen her properties, even though she said, come on over.
It's
I'm like,
nonstop. You got to take her up on that. It's so incredible.
Yeah,
It's truly.
I love Kathy. She's a great person. So, and it continues to be a big part of us. So,
Good.
That's that Sonoma community
That's that
again
Sonoma
coming
community.
out.
Yeah. And she has a mini Tai Chi studio at her property.
That's
so
right.
I also work on choreography there in that studio when she's not using it to teach Tai Chi. So
I
it's
did not
such a
know
win.
that.
It's a beautiful win.
I know. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you constantly, when it comes back to choreography and that kind of stuff, thinking ahead, thinking of shows? Do you get inspiration too from like, okay, I can see that this dancer, what they do, and kind of incorporate that? I think in a holiday show, sometimes you want to kind of pull out the big tricks a little bit.
Yeah, I do get inspired by humans, you know what I mean? I get inspired by seeing other things as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly, whether it's on television, I love when they don't maybe do it as much anymore as they did when we were younger, but the 8:00 special on Sunday night. I mean, back in the 80s, it was like solid gold. You were too young, but like.
I was born in '83.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Well,
but I don't know if you were watching Solid Gold, though.
I was watching Solid Gold,
Right?
and the best dancer was this. She must be 8 feet tall. This beautiful black woman. I forget her name. It was all about that. Those dancers were so good. Skimpy costumes, but so good.
Yeah, and we're watching that, and I'm 5 years old or whatever, and 85, and watching these Solid Gold dancers and being like, this is me. So that kind of stuff is inspiring.
That's funny. I'm kind of probably around the same age range, and I didn't grow up dancing as well. I was actually a little terrified to go to classical ballet classes. They were mean back then. So Flashdance and Fame and Solid Gold.
All of it.
All was the reference.
The Wiz. Oh my gosh, The Wiz.
Yeah. Oh, still see those moves.
I know, me too.
And you can still reference those moves. You know, like we do a little line dancing tonight, and
I saw that country line dancing.
that's right, happening tonight, twice a month. It's so fun.
Good,
so if you're like an old dancer like me and you got a few injuries, line dancing is where it's at. It's for anybody, right? But there's a few moves
really
I'm like,
good.
oh, this is the Wiz. Oh, this is, like you can reference those moves for sure. But I digress because I love line dancing so much these days. Here we go. What else? I had another question for you too. Oh, I know. I see that you love the word team.
Oh, yeah.
That's your word.
It's
That's
so funny.
your word.
The story is actually, it was a friend of mine that I was working with on Mamma Mia. Her name's Lori Wells. She's actually performed out here for Transcendence in the past as well. Phenomenal performer, all the things. We were doing a show together and she kept saying team. And this, many years ago, she kept saying team. And I was like, that only meant sports to me growing up. I only heard the term team in sports. And I didn't until this time hear it in performance and in theater and in dance. And we never said team. And I was like, that's so weird. And I said, why are you always saying that? And she said, well, she also grew up in sports and her brothers played baseball. And she's like, we're a team. And I was like, well, yeah, we are. And she's like, you could be on stage by yourself, but there's a whole team backstage. And there's a whole team out in the theater, out in the house, lighting and sound design and all these things. And so that just kind of got me going. And then I just haven't turned back from there. It just can't get enough. And it just feels right. And it just feels a wonderful, positive way to address everybody and to get everybody on the same page. And I like to say a lot, sometimes the team needs you and sometimes you need the team. So there's this balance of work and effort that we're supporting each other,
I like that. Use that a little bit more. Yeah.
Let's use it.
Because it's true. It's always a balance.
Yeah.
And you need that just to keep on the right track.
Right. And so few of us, I guess, in occupation are doing these things by ourselves, right?
None of it.
Thankfully, if I'm by myself for too long, I go crazy. In this building, you're doing things together, even if you're in different rooms, even if you're in a kitchen or a studio or the office or mixing sound or all the things. It takes the team.
I know. I love it. Okay, team.
Thanks
team
for
it
asking
is.
that. There's
fun. Another coin term that I haven't really heard before that I really love that you guys use over there, and that's co-conceiver or conceiver. I saw that next to Eric's title from the last show in the summertime. I love that.
Yeah.
Conceiver, it kind of gives... Okay, where this is...
Right, and that came out of recognizing, because people would say, well, how did this show, who decided the songs and the dances and who decided the humans? And so we want to give credit to that. And when Eric, this show that he worked on this summer in August, a beautiful mix of music and dance and humans, he conceived that show, and we usually get a team like anything. It's not just one person.
Absolutely. Doesn't work that way around here
it
either.
works strong with more folks. but it's great to show credit, share where that's deserved.
Team conceivers. There's another thing too that I love in the dance world that I just through line dancing found out. So you know that you're trying to explain between beginning and intermediate. Well, they have a lever called improver. And I love that. I'm like, improver. That's right in between.
That's me. Or that's us the whole time. We should always be an improver, right?
Exactly. Improver. Like, I won't be improving my singing one of these days.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. Probably not.
Good singer.
I believe it.
I don't know what it is on the singing part. One of these days when we get there. I'm trying to get over the dancing part. Still dancing.
Good.
Just
I can see Molly. Molly's really good. I think she can be in theater. Come on, Molly.
I'll do that when I'm older, before I die.
Good. When you grow up.
All those old Tennessee Williams plays.
When you
those
grow
old
up.
ladies,
That's
exactly. So there's always something to do.
Do you do anything with Sonoma Arts Live? Because they're right here.
I do not. Jamie, once a year, when she has the time, Jamie Loves, the director over there, artistic director, is teaching, not a stand-up. We have one of those coming too, a stand-up comedy class, but she is teaching an acting class.
Great.
And if I can find time, because I took over Trash and Fashion from Sonoma, which is not just me, it is definitely a team effort.
Team
but
conceive.
We do a lot in April, not just a runway show, but so much more. So it really kicks off hard about January, but I have to remember to balance it out. So I'd love to do the acting classes.
Good.
I want to do them all. So what do you want to do, Tony? What's your, outside of work?
Does anybody ask you that much? What do you want to do?
If you were going to come to the community center and you were here for a while, because we have culinary, we have painting, we have fiber arts, we have so much.
Yeah.
What's your
honestly? It would be, no joke, it would be cooking, because I don't do it enough.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm not proud to say I'm a microwave guy, and I'm a takeout guy. In New York, it's easier because it's right there. It's cheap. Run around the corner, get a bagel.
So much food though in New York.
Such good food.
Yeah.
And such good, like those. But I do, for my personal health and for finance, it's smarter to cook on your own.
Yeah.
So I would take up that cooking job.
Nice. What's your favorite food?
Honestly, probably Mexican.
Oh,
no joke.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'll go to every Mexican restaurant and then kind of.
What's your favorite here in Sonoma?
Well, I don't want to put anybody out, but I'm going to be honest. I'm a big La Casa guy right
La
here.
Casa?
I actually kind of like La Casa. I had a great salad there a while ago.
Mm-hmm. I'm a La Casa guy. I'll give a second runner-up or first runner-up to Hacienda.
Yeah. What about El Molino?
I like El Molino, but it feels a little contemporary for me.
No way.
Yeah.
El Molino.
You like El Molino?
El Molino is the closest you're going to get to real Mexican food.
Truly?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. It's Oaxacan style. So from Oaxaca.
I see.
Now, when you go to like La Casa and then you go to La Hacienda, it's more Americanized.
Food, all right.
But
he is
El Molino.
He is an '80s kid from Ohio. So
do you love that?
I'm
like in my palate. I'm like, it feels contemporary, but you're like, no, it's. You know what's so funny? We went to Chevy's the other night, and I wasn't mad. The salsa, it's a little Chipotle style smoky, and I wasn't mad.
No.
It was all right.
I eat Taco Bell once in a while, so that tells a lot about me.
This would be the first time that we wouldn't do a shout out to our great unofficial sponsor, but not really.
Costa Tacos.
You ever go to Costa's Taco Truck?
No, where's that?
Okay.
Tell me.
Delicious.
Do we love it?
You find,
so good.
You'll find them in Starling, I believe.
The Starling?
Yeah, Starling Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then you'll find them on Friday, Saturday over at the Spring Brewery.
Okay.
They're really a stop by.
Great.
Delicious at night.
Done.
It's so good.
Yeah, get the Al Pastor.
Sounds good.
Exactly.
I haven't had breakfast yet, so that sounds right. With some eggs, I'm all
they
right with
actually
that.
make a great breakfast burrito, but not till Friday.
Breakfast. Yeah.
I love them. Besides Gerardo's food, they're my favorite.
Oh, nice.
What can I say?
Cooking.
Job security here,
Yeah, it feels that's good. Job security.
I mean, thank God I don't have to fit in a pair of tights for the holiday show. Right?
I always make that joke in the summer. It's like, oh yeah, I tried all my clothes, and the only thing that fit was my sandals.
I know. Speaking of that, are you performing in the show or directing, mostly directing and choreographing? And all
also
of that?
performing, Molly.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's
all right. Now
I just was telling the
folks.
cast, right? I was telling the cast, My goal to create a show that the audience really enjoyed, that the cast on stage is enjoying, but that the audience is really enjoying. Two-way street. And part of that to me is having a lot of diverse talent on stage, people that are capable of doing different things. Even the singers that are primary singing, they have different styles of voices, and the dancers we have different styles of dance. We've got tap and jazz and ballet. Yeah, so I threw myself in the mix to be a part of it and of course, further be a part of the team. So I'm directing and choreographing and in it and having a blast. Yeah, we're keeping busy and we're excited to keep working on it and bring some holiday joy here to the North Bay area.
Exactly. Just a little backup to other shows. Do you kind of jump around, and not just Transcendence, but are you in other locations? Do you do other work as well? I would imagine throughout the year.
I do. I've been working a lot with Six Flags theme parks in their entertainment. During COVID, as we were coming out of COVID, we were all shut down during it. As we were coming out, I got a job with one of the now Six Flags parks in Ohio and working in their entertainment division. And I really enjoy it. So I get to do some of that and work with them. The performing artists are typically a little bit younger. They're right out of college or they're in college. Fun. So that's a learning lesson for us all. Do you know what I mean? What that's like. And it's really, really healthy, I find, to work with them and understand what the next crop of Broadway stars is going to be, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. There's parks around here, too. There's California's Great America. Right. So I haven't been there yet, but I hear it's wonderful and they have some good entertainment there and everything.
Yeah, I think they're right next to that Levi Stadium.
Oh, right. Because like Taylor Swift was there. There was a thing happening. Yeah.
As I was cruising, we call it research, but you could call it, I wasn't trolling, but I was checking out your Instagram.
I troll every day. It's like, I'm
my daughter's like, blah, 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 disaffect teenager, whatever, doing her work. She's all, I recognize, is that Ariana Grande?
Oh,
so it's
you went
funny.
Deep too. Scrolled down. She scrolled down.
I definitely scrolled down.
Yes,
of course. So that was really of interest to her.
Oh my gosh!
I imagine it was just. Do you dance or did you work with them, or was it just mostly
I worked with her brother Frankie.
Yeah,
and
that's why I was actually looking, because I was delighted by that.
Well, their whole family is. I don't know if our listeners know much about Ariana Grande and Wicked, but their whole family is so wonderful. They have always just been so giving. So I met Frankie years ago and he's such a positive light. And then he took us to see, Ariana would come to Mamma Mia when she was 10.
Wow.
And she would come to the stage door and just like hang out, just like this sweet, sweet little budding artist. And it's like funny to talk. It's kind of hilarious.
Because
she's now like one of the biggest stars in the world. And she's still just the sweetest. I just saw them recently. I just saw Frankie in a production over in New York, and she was there and she was so sweet and gave us a big hug.
Awesome.
I was like starstruck, even though, I've known her over the years, but I just hugged her and I was like, you were great on SNL. Like I didn't know what to say. But they're great.
Oh, that's amazing. I know. We have our boats. She's like, Ariana. I'm all, oh,
Frankie.
They went to Taylor Mac.
Yes.
That's another discussion we'll talk about. Well, I'm obsessed with Machine Dazzle, right? Which was just, he's an amazing. He was a trash and judge for a while through Eric.
And right.
All of that and through the current theater and stuff. So that experience must have been amazing. 24-hour.
I honestly have never experienced anything like it. It's like I only did 6 hours of the like 24. But I mean, you're in a theater and you would hate it in that seat. Well, it's in the current, so it's a little more comfortable. But it was so wild, and it didn't feel like 6 hours. It felt just like an incredible experience. There was like snacks, and then at one point they come down and hand everyone a beer,
right?
And then an apple, and then it was so great.
Taylor Mac experience. So tell us a little bit about the show, because it's 24 hours, but it takes you down. The rabbit hole of performance.
It was like a decade thing, and Taylor was highlighting either musical moments or pop culture moments from decades. And right now, it's been years ago, so I don't remember the actual years that we saw in our 6. But I mean, I want to say he started in the like 1900s, but he also like contemporizes the pop culture moments from back in the day.
I love it.
It's fascinating. It's unlike anything else.
There is an HBO special, and I'm forgetting the name, but I suggest anybody check it out. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, you saw it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you saw it live at the Current as well?
I did not see it live at the Current. I'm so sad that I missed that.
Did you get down to the city? The city, we say over here.
I know, the city. That's San Francisco, folks. The city. Just like, well, I guess you call New York.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's the
only
city.
call it the
Because I
city.
lived outside of it, so I called it the city. We're going into the city.
Yeah.
Now that my kid is getting a little older, I'll take her down for stuff, but I do want to get a little bit more, see live performances and stuff. I have a lot of friends that are dancers that used to dance there, but it was always more underground, modern dance, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And go to whatever, if there's a fashion related art, trashing, blah, 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 I'm going to see all that stuff. So, but the Current, it's funny you mentioned that. I just met Greg, who I believe is manager over there.
Okay.
We're doing a thing out at Haystack Farms for them.
Nice.
And I've been looking at the Current. They have the Golden Girls theater thing coming up. It looks amazing. I remember hearing about this last
like
year.
Drag or something?
It is, of course. That's what I'm going to go see.
That's great.
And honestly, that's what I've seen in the past. So that's
I mean,
it.
the Golden Girls was a drag show, basically, if you watch that.
Exactly. I did some Trash and Barbies, the Golden Girls. So that was pretty spectacular.
Great.
But we're going down the rabbit hole now.
Yeah, we got
what
we
I
got
can
down
see,
with it.
and if I don't make it to the city this year, is I will make it out for the holiday show.
Yes, please do. You come in Sebastiani?
Absolutely.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Gerardo, you can do those seats for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Or we can
so?
we can send you clips too.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I can text you a few clips from rehearsal.
Can I bring my little cushion so I can just put it there?
Absolutely.
You can
I support
bring
that.
your cushion.
But I'm so
My mom
big,
used to
like,
do that when we went to the
I'm like, I
theaters.
feel like
I
I need to pay for an extra seat, just to sit there.
Some theaters do that and then take the armrests out so you can just be
I don't think you
comfortable.
can
I
take
don't
the
think those
armrests.
armrests come out.
Those are set for
No,
life.
I think
there.
they're set for life because I think they were built in 150 years ago, which
Exactly.
makes the theater so special, but makes it tough.
Exactly. I'm surprised it's not like a slated stage. Not much of a backstage though.
No, I know.
Right.
We're just gonna shove ourselves in the backstage a little bit.
And that's the beauty of, I think, about Transcendence. I have a lot of respect for it, is you guys really are able to turn on a dime and work within any spaces and that
and
sort
you
of
guys
thing.
used to
You've been
do it
through
over,
a lot.
like outside too, no?
Yeah, we do it outside in the summer.
Under
There's a
the
whole
stars,
Under
something
the
like that?
Stars.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. It's called Broadway Under the Stars, and it started in Jack London. I won't get too deep into
we won't go into
those
the
weeds.
politics
There's
of all
a
that.
little politics involved.
Okay.
But I will say, aside from the politics, the feedback I have heard directly from community members that, like everyone in this, like you all in this room, and is so supportive, and everyone's working so hard to get Transcendence back to Jack London. If or not that happens, like you said, we're going to put on a show. It just doesn't matter where. So right now we're up at this beautiful Field of Dreams, which is just north of the square. And that team has been also so supportive. I mean, we're talking about a bunch of guys who focus on baseball and understandably for the kids and the community and whatever. And the fact that they're allowing us to share their space with them. So we, of course, kick back and help fund some of their baseball and some of taking care of the fields and everything. So it's a wonderful relationship. It's cool.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was over at BR Cone.
We have performed there before.
you have?
Yeah,
okay.
that space is really cool. So much history there as far as concerts and everything goes. We have done some there, but we're not regularly there. But,
Okay.
But that place is great. Yeah. There's good wine here too in Sonoma, apparently.
Surprise!
Surprise.
I know. Wine everywhere, everything, every event. And that's great. It's really about the experience. And I think that's what Community Center, what all these places, Transcendence, everybody really tries to make the experience full. How you're feeling, what you're drinking, what you're eating, what you're seeing, what you're dancing,
what you're smelling, all
the senses.
Yeah.
Hit the senses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's the best type of experience. Even if it's a meal, if it's dinner, it's the same kind of thing. It's a full experience. It's not just like sitting down and shoveling a plate of food.
But sometimes
in
we forget about that when we're
You're right.
on the busy and we're on the go.
You're right.
I know I do it. I'm running here to get here this morning. So again, trying to focus. Every year we get that chance to work on something, and I definitely feel that.
Do you
being
all
more
do
present.
New Year's Eve resolutions? Is that something you do here?
I do sometimes.
I do.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I am.
I say, you know what? I'm going to start like the kiwi diet on.
Kiwi diet.
Yeah.
Is that like
As
in
a
the
chef?
80s?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you eat everything except the kiwi. That's
Oh, Gerardo.
So good.
And that's why
Not what I was
I
expecting you to
can't.
say.
That's why I can't stick to my diet resolutions of the New Year's.
Same.
I feel bad for Molly. Who's like, no, I'm not eating this today. And I'm like, hey, I got some tacos here. She's like,
So not supportive.
I'll start tomorrow, I guess.
God, I'm a middle-aged woman coming to terms with the old dancer body is gone bye-bye. But
Molly,
you
you'll
know.
kill it if you bring a loaf of bread. Bread is her weakness.
It's gonna go. It's
It
gonna
is. God, I love bread.
Yeah.
So, hello, keto. That's
I guess.
for sure. As long as you're healthy and happy, and it goes beyond just like weight and dancing and stuff.
Oh,
It's just a good time to check in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check
I
in
agree.
with everybody and check in with your health and your family and your
Right.
well-being.
Right.
You know.
So, Tony, what would be your New Year resolution for you?
I don't know that I typically do that. I'm gonna think about it. I just really do want to. I do know that when I'm in my best physical and mental space, that's when I do produce the best work. It's probably not news to anybody. That's probably across the board for any occupation or any parent who's parenting a kid or any, I think that's a big part. And of course that feels a little silly to say because everyone's like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym more, whatever. But just in general, breathing deeper. And
do you have a special place where you go?
To
to like think about.
I do love the beach. I do love actually the last couple of years a group of friends and I have gone to Riviera Maya, which is obviously not like it's fancy Mexico or it's fancy, the resorts are, but just sitting on the beach. In fact, typically on my phone it's a picture of the beach down there. I could sit there for hours, day and night. The beach in the night is kind of the greatest.
Yeah. Nice.
Around here too, I love Bodega Bay.
Oh, okay.
And I love.
It's not the same though.
It's not the same.
Well,
it's colder.
it's definitely.
It's a little more intense, but again, it's still really good energy. You know what I mean?
Did you ever do the polar bear plunge?
No,
we used to because
I
my
can't do
husband
all
was
that.
a surfer, so
Did you?
I did that a couple of times. I'm not mad
that's
at
not
it.
Mexico, but that's upstate New York. But
It's still good though.
but it's still.
We're in upstate.
Well, this is actually when we went to see Frankie Grande at Bucks County Playhouse. You know Bucks County?
No.
It's like this sweet little upstate town with a nice little theater and just about an hour from the city, and it's great.
From the city? Okay.
Yeah.
I love how you're all upstate.
From the New York City, not from the San Francisco city.
A lot of my family's moved back to Buffalo and Rochester area from here as well as New York City. So it's always funny. They have a great theater though in Rochester. All my cousins' nieces, they're all in theater and they all come from this stunning theater in Rochester.
Right.
So it's a surprise.
That's
kind of having a
great, though.
resurgence up in those towns, but cold for me.
So cold. You wouldn't.
My wife wouldn't like cold.
No.
I love cold.
At least in New York City, you have somewhere to go. You have somewhere inside to go. You got the buildings to block you.
Right.
Well, my father-in-law used to live in Cleveland for
Did
like
he?
20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he had to leave there. He got stabbed 7 times, so he was like, no more.
I know Cleveland to be a little dangerous. That happens.
But he said it was super cold most of the time.
The cold.
Yeah,
Growing
snow
up,
and everything.
it's so funny. That's also why I'm in shorts today, because growing up, it was so painfully cold. Like waiting for the bus at the bus station, it would hurt. But you just had no choice. And so cold doesn't I'm like, bring it on.
I was going to say, I moved back to
on.
California. This is much earlier. This was like 2002 or something like that. It was same thing in January. I got here. First thing I went to was Santa Barbara to see a friend. Like out there in a t-shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
all,
like,
this is
I'm in
great.
California.
Yeah, exactly.
California, people think California is so warm, and it really is not, right? Unless you're like,
It's not.
in the
it does
South.
get down to freezing. It just doesn't
Yeah.
snow once in a great while.
right.
That's the only thing that I really enjoy, if I can get a snow in Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
That
then
is
go
nice.
away.
And then go just one day.
Just
of it.
one day. Just on
Okay.
Christmas.
Okay, yeah. That's the whole point. It's
That's
supposed
not
to be
how it
one.
works, Gerardo.
I know,
That's like
I
the
know.
South. They do get
Wishful
snow, but really it's
thinking.
slush for the
Wishful
whole time.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking. You can go up in the mountains. Are there? Or we could go up to Tahoe. Maybe.
Yeah, we can go to Tahoe.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ski? Would you ski?
No. I used to snowboard though.
Yeah,
When I was
great.
young.
That's
Not
fun.
anymore. None of us.
Have you ever attempted that?
I have
Snowman?
not. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't. When I was
seems
younger
like
and dancing
when you're in
on a more,
shows, maybe
they
that's
actually
not
would
the
say,
thing. Yeah.
they would say, like, I remember on tour, they'd specifically like, we're going to be in Colorado this week, but we really don't recommend you go skiing because
You're like,
they're
Yes.
so easily injured. So.
Yes, I actually, one of my cousins in Tahoe, ski, I believe it was her honeymoon, hit a tree, paralyzed for life.
Are you serious?
Heroda's family, he has some alarming
I know,
stories,
and the
doesn't he?
And the thing is, I know they're true because I can see it in his eyes,
no,
and then I get
like-
nervous. Yeah.
Bam, hit a tree.
Maybe
No.
you stay here where there's not any
Yeah,
snow.
that's why when-
just look at it.
If I were to go skiing, I'm gonna sit by a fire and have
Yeah.
like a nice cocktail.
Yeah.
and just watch everybody be beautiful. Like that's not.
I
for
like
me.
that too.
The snow's pretty good.
Or
It's
it'd be
beautiful.
even better if they have a hot sauna somewhere.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's
And there are
nice.
places up there like that. Natural springs. Boy, we really went down the rabbit hole. Now,
did.
what else?
But
I'm
beautifully.
so excited you're back in town.
Hey, thank you.
Holiday
Thank
show.
you
If
very
you made
much.
it this far,
Yes.
go and see it,
Yeah,
everybody.
you're gonna
When does
go.
it start?
It is in, like I was saying, it was in Marin, December 12th through the 15th, and then we're
Okay.
here on the December 18th and 19th. We have 2 shows each day, so we have a matinee and an evening on the 18th and the 19th. It's like the
Wonderful.
perfect, right
I'm
before
gonna ask my
Christmas.
wife to see if she wants to
All
see.
right.
She's seen Transcendent
Okay.
over the stars or whatever, under the stars.
Great.
Before, so-
Broadway Under the Stars.
Yeah.
I missed the first 5 years or 6 years. I had a kid in 2010, so I didn't even really know about it. Thank you. And maybe we'll touch back base if you are here next year.
Always. And
right?
I'd love to just come here and do anything and
Yeah.
see you guys.
You're
and
always welcome.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time for
problem.
us and
Nice to meet you.
Of
Transcendence.
course. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too.